The most frequent question I get as a digital artist is, what brushes do I use? It can be overwhelming when first faced with the mountain of brush options in Procreate or whatever program you're using. And it's hard to know where to start. So join me as I share my entire digital art process, and I'll show you which 5 Procreate brushes I use the most. To start out, the brush I use the most by far is the dry ink brush found in the inking section. I will use this brush for sketching, line art, and color sometimes. This brush provides a subtle texture that creates a natural look, but the brush is still solid enough to provide an easily visible, clear line. As we go through this list of my favorite brushes, remember that this is just a starting point and a push of inspiration for you to try out different brushes. I'd love for you to explore these brushes and tell me what you think, but also there is no right or wrong brush to use when you're creating. It's all about finding the right brushes for your unique style and artistic voice. And with that said, the second most used brush in my arsenal is the round paint brush. Now, I usually don't use this for lines or anything like that, but it's the biggest, flattest colored brush that I can use. And usually I use this brush to lay down a ton of color at once or to change the color of a layer quickly. You can lock one layer by swiping with 2 fingers on the layer, and then you can make effects only on the lines on that layer. So when I lock it, I will use this round brush to quickly change the color of that layer. It's perfect for when you don't know exactly which color you want to use, but want to try out a few different colors. And in this example, I am changing the color of the line art because I really think black sometimes can be much too abrasive, and so it's fun to experiment with different colored lines. Now, this sketch marker found under calligraphy is my go-to coloring brush. This one might be one that I've modified to my specifications, so I'm not sure if this is still in the original batch of Procreate brushes. But what I was looking for, and what you can look for too, is a brush that is completely textureless and one that didn't have automatic line smoothing. Due to those attributes, it will mark exactly where I place my pen and it'll just provide color. I usually like to use a flat color as a base and then build layers of texture over it. And it's easy to just sketch around my textured line art and then drop the paint bucket to fill it in. I don't often use this brush for line art because it is more sensitive to movement, but some of you might really enjoy using that type of brush for a very loose line art feel. My last 2 brush recommendations are both very textured, and I use these for extra detail and to just add some depth to my art. One of these is the Bonobo chalk brush found in the sketching category. It doesn't have a very defined line, so it feels more natural for things such as blush or just a layered texture. It works especially well for making denim look more realistic. And before I get to the last brush of my list, please comment down below and let me know what brushes you love to use. I would really love to hear your recommendations as well. And my final brush is Gloaming. This is found under the drawing category, and it's another really fun textured brush that has a bit more shape to it than the Bonobo chalk brush. And because of that, you can create actual lines with it. I love to use this brush to layer texture and also add some shadow. All of these different brushes create a ton of unique effects, but the tools are only as good as the artist. So if you want to make sure to use your digital brushes like a pro, be sure to watch my digital art for beginners video for 10 hacks to enhance your next digital illustration. I'll see you there, and happy drawing!